Hey there, friends. I am so excited. I am starting here in the new year a series of interviews, really just conversations with my friends and business partners here at eXp Realty, one of the most successful listing and agent attraction coaches, I believe, in the country. John Dietz is here with me. Super grateful that he and I were able to become in business together, also along with our business partner, Rich Tomasini, who is an amazing human being here within eXp that we're all grateful for. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit with John and share some things with you. So many people are asking questions about why are team leaders, why are coaches, why are broker owners coming over to eXp Realty? I don't really get it. What's different about the model? I hear that often. And sometimes I just think it's important to hear how people are doing it and how it's changing their business and their lives so that we can hear those stories and relate them to ourselves. And so that's what John and I are here to do today. So John, before we get started with that, share a little bit about yourself, just so people that don't already know you can learn a little bit about you.
Yeah, sure, Cari. Thank you. So I've been a real estate agent since 2002. Never wanted to get my license. Got my license because my wife thought it would be a good idea. At the time, I was working as a trainer and coach, just not in the real estate industry. And she could tell I wasn't having any fun anymore. She even said one day, she goes, "You're not having fun, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not." She said, and then she told me, "Go get your real estate license." And my response, Carrie, was like, "Heck no, I don't want to be a real estate agent." So, and I've shared this story a lot of times in different groups from stage, and I always joke around with the guys in the room. And I said, okay, so here's a lesson from somebody who's been married 32 years. When your wife suggests you do something, just go do it because you're eventually going to do it anyways, which I did. And 6 months in, I had sold one home, so crushing it. Sarcasm. But then something really good happened for me. Really interesting, right? Because most people, when something goes bad, they say, "Why did that happen to me?" It didn't happen to me, it happened for me. The full-time job that I was working at the time decided that they didn't like me selling real estate, and they gave me an ultimatum: either quit or you're fired. Quit selling real estate or we're going to fire you. Well, at the time, my son was 5 years old, my daughter was 6 months old, and we had bills. And they thought they had me in a place where I would have to quit selling real estate. I didn't, and they fired me. And 6 months later, I had sold 60 houses.
Wow.
And we went on to sell about 100 to 120 homes a year. And then in 2015, I got out of production, became a full-time real estate coach, trainer, team builder. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Love it. So, coming over to eXp, you understand teams, you understand brokerage ownership and just building a brokerage, building people, building a culture. You've been in that space both outside of real estate and inside of real estate.
Yeah.
And you, just like many people in the industry, have been in for a while and are in tune with what's going on, see the changes happening.
Yeah.
Rapid changes in
Yeah.
technology and industry and all the things. And so you make the move over to eXp Realty, and you know that there is a way that you can do this differently, a new way, I like to call it. And that's what I try to explain to people is really there is a new way. It's a different way, and we have to do something new because what we used to do isn't, I don't think, working anymore. And actually, you and I just had this conversation. The standard traditional team, we think it's going to be obsolete at some point. And so tell me a little bit about your thoughts around that first, and then let's get into how you're building your team and how different that is.
Well, I read this book, Platform Revolution, and it really opened my eyes. It was explaining the difference between a pipeline business and a platform business. And, so for example, Sears, JCPenney's, Blockbuster, they're all pipeline companies. You've got production, distribution, shipping, but the most expensive costs these companies have is rent, bricks and mortar, and staff. So along comes Amazon. Amazon is a platform, and Amazon removes all of those things that cost a lot of money, and it creates this platform that makes it easier for consumers to buy from the comfort of their home, have whatever they bought delivered to their front door the next day, or sometimes the same day. Yeah. And the same thing happened with Uber, with Netflix, with Airbnb. It's just, and I was watching this happen around me, and I heard somebody talk about EXP, and I'm like, what? No, the EXP, that tiny little company up in the clouds, not interested. But then somebody who is really, really smart got a hold of me, Rich Tomasini, and he said, you got to look at the model, John. I said, okay, you've got 15 minutes. 2 hours later, we're still meeting.
Yeah.
And he shared with me how the real estate industry is making this transition from a pipeline model, bricks and mortar real estate offices, to a platform model. And that by doing that, Glenn Sanford was way ahead of his time, right? But it's interesting because he first came up with this idea back in 2009. About the same time, all these other platform companies were popping up.
Right.
And he must have thought, hey, we could do this in real estate. And by eliminating regional owners, franchise owners, bricks and mortar staff, what Glenn did is he gave real estate agents an opportunity to move up in a 50-50 partnership with the brokerage to become partners in the company. And the more I looked at that, I thought, wow, this is amazing. This is absolutely the future of real estate. And what really got me was I could do the same thing that I did the last 7 years, except I did it for brokerage. Really proud of what we were able to accomplish. We built one of the most successful offices in the country in this brokerage, and we did it in a really short period of time. And when I transitioned out of that role, I realized, I'm really proud of what I did, but I don't really have anything to show for it. And I thought, okay, no worries. I want to do the same thing again, except now I want to build this organization for myself and for the agents who partner with me. That was important. And I also wanted an opportunity to do this without any geographic limits. And having the ability to grow this real estate business that would grow statewide and then nationwide was really too good to be true when I really looked at it.
Yeah.
So kind of the process of going from a tiny little company in the clouds to sign me up.
And so you made the transition, and it hasn't been that long, but you've had some really great success. And I believe it's because you, number one, you understand what it means to build a business because you've done it before for others. So now doing it for yourself, not having any restraints, no geographical boundaries, opportunity to really come from a place that is authentic to you. And you come with a heart of doing it for the agents. And, traditionally in real estate, at least in my experience, 24 years now in the business, when I first started, it was like, you're going to work for the brokerage and you're a salesperson for our brand, and you better be grateful that we're here for you. And you should be happy you pay us $100,000 a year. And I was like, okay, I guess I am then. And, that was obviously 20 some years ago, but it's interesting because even though there's been so many changes in the industry, I still feel like oftentimes that's the mentality of the brokerage is like, you need us and you should be grateful that you pay us 30 or 40 grand a year, 100 grand a year, whatever it is. And you can't do it on your own. And fundamentally that just doesn't sit well with me, because if we get into real estate, it's because we're entrepreneurs and we can do it on our own. But it is important to find the right people, to align yourself with the right tools, to be the best that you can be for your clients. And so that's what you have really created is like, look, you guys, we can do this in a new way. You can keep more of your money. It can be about you as the agent building your business, but we can have a true success through others model, which is really, really critical because you pour into your agents in a lot of ways. And so then you also have something to show for it. So can you just explain a little bit about what that looks like just to our viewers?
Well, they say that experience is the best teacher, right? And I agree with that, but I also disagree with it because I think other people's experience is a better teacher. If I can learn from your mistakes, cool, I will. And we had a team, Monica and I did, back in 2010, 11, 12. And it was a traditional real estate team that everything was our name, our pictures, our branding, everywhere, right? And that was just the way real estate teams worked back then. Moving forward and building this new business, it was our vision, my wife and I's, Monica's vision and my vision, that we were going to change the way real estate was done, that we were going to challenge the status quo, that one of the things that we were super passionate about was real estate agents get their license to be successful. Nobody gets their license to be average. And one of the things that really I'm passionate about that, and it bothers me, so I'm trying to keep it cool, is when you look at a real estate office and you look at the roster, usually somewhere between 30 and 40% of the roster hasn't sold a home in a year. And I'm like, that's just a crime. That is absolutely a crime. So we were out, that was one of the first things that we set out to do. We said, we're going to build a real estate organization where everybody who's a part of our group is in production.
Yeah.
We're not going to have anybody that has zero production.
Mhm.
The other thing that kind of was a challenge for me is this whole 80-20 rule thing,
Mhm.
where 20% of your real estate agents are doing 80% of the production. And these companies are talking about this like it's okay. It's not okay. We set out to change that, again, to challenge the status quo. We wanted to build a real estate group, and I'm being careful not to use the word team for a reason.
Yeah.
We wanted to build a real estate group where 100% of our agents were in production and hitting their goals. Here's the other thing we wanted to change. We wanted to build a real estate group where the agents were the center of the picture, where it was their brand, not our brand.
Yeah.
So we started Dietz and Dietz Real Estate Consultants in March of last year. And, you know, Cari, it's funny because I have people that reach out to me and say, well, can I Google you? I'm like, no, you won't find me anywhere. Dietz and Dietz Real Estate Consultants doesn't exist online.
Right.
I had to come up with a name. So that's the name.
Mhm.
What we are is we're a real estate training and coaching and consulting company. And we work for our agents. They don't work for us.
I love it.
It's their name, their brand. They don't pay any commission splits to me. I'm building what EXP calls as a self-organized team. I make my money through revenue share.
Yeah.
EXP pays me to build this organization that's big, and it's going to get a lot bigger, and they pay me really well. Why would I take any money from my agents? I want to help them do the same thing. So that's the other thing I love about the way this works is as we're building this organization and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, every single one of the agents who partner with us, well, they have the same dream. They have the same passion. They want to be a business owner. They don't want to be a real estate technician for the rest of their life. And I want to help them do that, because the more of them that do that, the better it is for me, the better it is for you, because you and I are in business together. So it's changing the way you look at things.
Yeah.
And the things you look at change.
Boom. It's life-changing and business changing for the people that participate in it. And I think the hard thing is it's always one of those things where it's like, you just have to be here to, you have to be here to get it, to understand. I feel like it's one of those things you have to, you know, lean into your faith a little bit to experience something, because it is fundamentally so different than what so many of us have been around for so long. It just seems too good to be true. And you said that earlier. That's what you thought. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not possible. You know, it's so possible that, you know, it's almost unbelievable sometimes.
Well, you know, one of the things we heard over and over and over again prior to our move to EXP was revenue share will never work. It just doesn't make sense. How can you share 50% of the revenue if the company's not profitable? Well, that's only part of the picture. What they don't understand, and I mean anybody who says that, what they don't understand is, you know, EXP operates on a $16,000 cap.
Right.
8,000 of that is going to go to revenue share. It's the 50-50 initiative, which means the other $8,000 is going to EXP. Well, that's a ton of money, especially for a company that doesn't have bricks and mortar offices. They don't have to pay for staff. Not only is it working, but EXP has no debt. They're plus $2 billion cap value on NASDAQ. It's the most profitable real estate company that's traded publicly. It's working, and I don't see any reason why it won't continue to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. We've both been paid to grow brokerages before, and, you know, we had to manage a lot of expenses. And so the reality is we're still getting paid to grow other people's businesses. It's just in a completely different way, and it's building it for us, not for somebody else. And what I think a lot of people say is, you know, hey, but John and Cari, you've done this before. And so this is going to, you know, revenue share is going to make sense for you. But now that I've been at this company for 2 years, I'm seeing people who are just phenomenal agents. And when I say phenomenal, I mean great co-op agents, knowledgeable, hardworking, have a lot of integrity. It doesn't matter if they're doing 20 transactions a year, 200. But they're people that other realtors like, trust, and look up to because they're consistent, and they're just a reputable member of the community that they live in and they work in. And they're making $5,000 a month without selling a house, and they don't even know how it happened. And it's just simply because their friends called them up and said, you know, tell me what you think. I'd like to hang around you more. And so I just wanted to kind of mention that, because all of the people partnering with you get such a great value from you, and anybody partnering with them is going to get that value from you as well. But just being a great agent, especially in our market today, and having access to tools that continue to push you forward and be progressive in this market is going to attract others. And so anybody can take advantage of this benefit of this company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So what would you say to somebody who is a traditional team leader right now, has their own brokerage, who, you know, has thought about EXP, because I think most of them have, whether they'll admit it to us or not. You know, what would you say to them to just maybe help them to stop overthinking and at least open their heart and minds to have a conversation with you and I? Because things are changing rapidly here, and those models are getting harder and harder, and people can change the model and not lose everything that they've built, right?
Yeah, so I would tell them to study Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. And you're either working as an employee, which both of us were doing as team leaders, by the way. Only time in my life that I've been an employee.
Me too.
It's interesting because as I was sitting outside today, because the weather is absolutely perfect here, and I'm making calls, I'm working, but I'm sitting outside in shorts and tennis shoes, and I'm thinking I could have never done this. So anyways, bunny trail. If you study the cash flow quadrant, you're either working as an employee, which means you work for somebody else and you trade time for money, or you become an independent contractor. Now, as an independent contractor, what you end up finding out is you have a higher ceiling of income potential. You can earn more money as an independent contractor, but you're going to work harder and you're going to work more hours.
Right.
The third quadrant is you're a business owner. Now, people work for you. And you own a business. What I would tell anybody who's thinking about this is ask yourself, which one of those quadrants do I fit into? And I think one of the biggest challenges for real estate agents is they think they're business owners when they're not. They're not a business owner unless they make money even when they don't go to work. What they have is they have a practice. You know, attorneys have practices, doctors have practices. Right. But they have to show up in order to make money. So they're going to continue to trade time for money, just more money. However, they're never going to be able to stop working for a couple months or for the next 20 years and continue to make money that can support their family. What they need is they need a platform that'll give them an opportunity to create high six-figure income for the rest of their life. Whether they're working or not, now they're a business owner.
Yes. And this platform gives you the opportunity. By the way, if you are a traditional team leader, if you own your own brokerage, you do not have to give up what you've built. You can plug into the platform of EXP and still be who you are and still maintain a lot of what you want to, but some of it will be unnecessary. And you can start seeing an actual return on your investment of time, and you can start building an actual exit strategy. And I know that, John, you and I have passion around that because we have worked so hard to build other people's businesses. And we've also been paid a lot of money to coach agents and broker owners and team leaders to problems that were not able to be solved because they're not in the right platform. And that is just true. And it's not selling you on anything. I just hope that if you're watching this, John is an extremely talented coach. If you would be able to be in business with him and link arms with him, you know, I think it would be life and business changing. The cool thing is that you could also work with me. I'm not as cool as John, but we have different strengths. What I love about being in business with John is he and I have very different strengths, which is really cool because people can tap into us for what we have to offer, and they can really get a lot of different things. And you don't have to pay us to help you. We want to because we understand this model, and it's Zig Ziglar's, it's his quote in real life, right? If you help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. That's literally the EXP model. And we enjoy doing what we do. I know I can speak for us both. We really do. So congratulations on all your success. Hey, John, where are you located? Where is the weather so nice?
Right. So I'm in Palm Harbor, Florida, which is the Tampa Bay area. More importantly, I'm 2.5 miles from Dunedin and my grandson's home.
That's exactly why you are where you are. And EXP allowed you to make that move and not have geographical boundaries, which is amazing.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So you guys, I have a lot of friends in Florida. If you're in Florida, you need to know John. You should just meet him in person, if nothing else. But if you're someone who's been considering doing this in a new way, team building, brokerage ownership, etc., John and I would really love to chat with you. So shoot us a DM. Thanks, John. I'm really grateful to be in business with you. And thanks for spending time today.
Thank you, Cari. Make it a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.